Thank you to War Thunder for sponsoring today's video. The new numbers for Call of Duty are in, and yikes, it's bad. It's worse than I thought it would be. And I'm not someone to celebrate on COD's failures. I'm not a doomsayer channel that likes to hate raid or stuff like that. I want the best out of this franchise, but this is rough. This is really, really bad. And we're going to talk about what led us there. We're going to talk about the new numbers. We're going to talk about Call of Duty with their Season 1 integration, which includes Warzone, which a lot of people are excited or at least curious about on December 4th, less than a week away. But quick rant. I am so sick and tired of people in the COD scene. I don't know if there was like an internal memo that was sent out or people are getting paid to say this or it's just groupthink or what. But I feel like every time I scroll my timeline, there is just this COD hate is so forced. It's so forced. And there's just this giant groupthink that what has been happening for the past few years doesn't justify the consumers and the fans' reaction to, no, this hate isn't forced. This is absolutely earned. And there's a reason for all of us to be so frustrated with the anti-consumer and disingenuous gaslighting and lack of substantial content that we've been getting from Call of Duty. And there's just dozens and dozens and dozens of tweets. And I swear it's like these guys have either A, they're trying to put up a facade so that way they can try to keep the views up and try to keep everything happy, or B, they have legitimate Stockholm syndrome from getting Call of Duty creator care packages. Because listen, I love Call of Duty. I still play it. I still play in tournaments and I still want the best for the game, but I'm not going to pretend like dude, it's almost like you've been in an abusive relationship for like 5+ years of abuse and neglect and gaslighting. And then the second that everyone breaks up with them, the game, metaphorically breaking up with the game, just because Black Ops 7 comes back with flowers and chocolate, and it genuinely is a good multiplayer game, does not take away from the last 5 years, and everyone shouldn't be like, oh my God, he's so sweet, you should take him back. Like, what are we? Oh, dude, okay. I'm really not trying to be like hyperbolic or like, it blows my mind. Okay, Black Ops 7, great multiplayer. The campaign, it's laughable. We're going to talk about it. But with the years and years of neglect on genuine content, lack of a functioning anti-cheat, we had these conversations a million times before, and have some backbone. And I don't think and if your name got mentioned in that and that pisses you off, I love you. You're a fellow creator. You know, I don't think necessarily you're being disingenuous, and maybe you are genuinely thrilled, but I think for me and a lot of other people, I just don't get it. You can enjoy the game, but you gotta understand why a lot of people are burnt out, whether it's COD fatigue or years of frustration, or for a lot of people, they enjoy Warzone multiplayer, or they enjoy like Warzone Battle Royale, and they see no meaningful track for Warzone Battle Royale to be successful, and that's why they didn't buy the multiplayer. So, you know, there's so many. Legendary Drops had a good tweet, and he was like, you know, every time I see the hate for Black Ops 7 is so forced, I click on their bio and see they're a COD creator that used to have banger views and now their views are falling off. Like, it's not fun. I've made significantly less income these last few years as a result of COD's, you know, screw ups, and that's been frustrating. I'm not just someone who casually enjoys this game. I have a wife and a child and a mortgage. It is stressful and frustrating. But I don't want to turn into a hate baiting grifter that tries to, like, you know, push off on COD. Sorry, that's you know, I want to make genuine content that I think is valuable to you all. And I have found so much love and enjoyment out of playing Battlefield, and I would love to find that love and enjoyment out of playing Warzone. And that's why at the end of this video, we're going to talk about some of the things coming to Warzone to see if it is going to be a flip of the switch for me, where I might want to start making content on it again. But it's not looking promising. And we can talk about why as we go through this video. Now, you guys know, whether I was throwing helicopters in Verdansk, flying planes in Caldera, or seat swapping in RedSec, I'm a huge fan of vehicle combat. Which is why this video is sponsored by War Thunder, the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever made, now available for free on PC, console, and mobile. Take command of over 2,500 tanks, planes, helicopters, and ships from 10 major nations, ranging from the biplanes of the past to modern fighter jets of today. And these aren't just texture packs.
Every single one of these are painstakingly detailed, not only with stunning graphics, but they also show the inner mechanization of the actual aircraft. You're going to see where the crew is located, where the fuel is located, and when you actually end up taking out an enemy tank, for example, you can see the internal damage of how that tank was disabled. And that guy's having a bad day.
Join the worldwide community of over 95 million players in epic PvP battles today. There's so many things to master, so many things to learn, and a lot of diversity and content to get through inside of War Thunder. You can play for free on PC, PlayStation, Xbox, and mobile devices by using the link down in the pinned comment and the description. Also, as a bonus, new players and returning players on PC and consoles that haven't played in the last 6 months, they'll also receive a massive bonus pack across all platforms that includes multiple premium vehicles, the exclusive Vehicle Decorator Eagle of Valor, 100,000 Silver Lions, and 7 days of premium account. It's available for a limited time, so be quick. Again, I play Black Ops 7 still. Won a tournament recently. I'm still playing really well on it, and I'm going to be playing in a tournament in it later this week. I'm going to check out the integration for Warzone, and none of this has been sponsored. There were a lot of creators. There was kind of some tension on the timelines because people were kind of like skirting by with how much they were publicly announcing that they were doing like dozens of hours of sponsored streams for Black Ops 7. That's a topic for a different video, and maybe the FTC. But I still play the game. I still love the game, and I'm not sponsored. Okay. And I'm also not sponsored by Battlefield outside of like 2 sponsored streams. I'm playing the games because I'm loving them and I'm enjoying them. And that's the way my content is going to go, as it always has been. But let's talk about some of the things that have caused some of this frustration and the abysmal sales for Black Ops 7. Bunch of AI slop. If you haven't seen it, Call of Duty has basically resorted to using almost like Studio Ghibli level AI to create a bunch of their assets in game. And they released an official statement like so many around the world. We use a variety of tools, including AI tools, to empower and support our teams. But I mean, it literally just looks like straight Chat GPT Studio Ghibli rips. So a lot of people are frustrated about the use of AI. A lot of people are frustrated by how gaslit they were by genuinely what was a badass campaign trailer that, you know, looked like it was going to be this crazy mind thriller to then turning into, I don't even know what. I love J God's tweet. He said, nice that the Black Ops 7 campaign had everything you'd expect from a COD campaign. Sniper mission, stealth mission, urban combat, chopper gunner, historical flashback, vehicle. Oh, it didn't have any of these. Instead, it had this, you're killing Menendez with giant blades out of the sky, or a Destiny boss mission. I don't know what the hell happened to the series, man. And so all this came together. You know, it's like COD has completely lost its roots of being about people going above, literally above and beyond the Call of Duty to this mind trip. And as good as the multiplayer is, there's still are some concerns about the SBMM side of things. I don't know if you guys have played Black Ops 7. If you haven't, it seems like SBMM is super strong. You'll see a level 12 here going up against all like almost not master prestiges, but like that's like second prestige, first prestige, first prestige, first prestige, first prestige, max level. And even Exclusive Ace dropped a video talking about how when he was on his higher skilled account, look behind my head, you will see on average, he has Exclusive Ace and he has Exclusive Ace bot. It took longer to matchmake in with his higher skilled account, and he only had 1 match in the 20s for ping on his higher skilled account versus his bot account, which had 8 out of 10 matches inside the 20 ping range. And a lot of players still feel like they're continuing to get gaslit by Call of Duty with this facade of open matchmaking where it genuinely doesn't feel like that's the case. Now, in fairness, Treyarch has reached out to Exclusive Ace. They feel like there might be a discrepancy. They stated that player demographics and playlist selections are very different from the full build versus the beta. But I mean, there's just way too many things, man, that are just adding up. And while yes, the multiplayer is good. Yes, the skins are a little bit more grounded. We're not getting Beavis and Butthead. They're starting to make some steps in the right direction. It's just way too little, way too late. And are you doing these decisions because you genuinely care about your community? Because the last few years, you've been gaslighting the hell out of us saying this is what's best for the community. But then you get your ass kicked by Battlefield. You can see the writing on the wall in the internal metrics and all the data they're using. And now they finally cave. And so, yeah, you might be doing the right things, but you're doing it for the wrong reason. And that's why Black Ops 7 sales were down 63% in Europe. They were down 61% in UK individually. They had the worst sales in the 20-year franchise history inside of Japan with under 12,000 copies sold. And that's just the data that we have access to. Down 63% year over year compared, or 61% down year over year compared to Black Ops 6 is horrible. Especially considering this was supposed to be the year that they were saving all the amazing content for, right? Black Ops 7 was just a warm-up to Black Ops 7. And Black Ops 6 was the warm-up to Black Ops 7. And it's bad. I know we can't necessarily use Steam numbers, right? Because most players are playing on Battle.net or console. However, if you compare last year, right? This is the current numbers. This is the last month. We're sitting around an 83,000 peak for like the last month or last 24 hours. If you compare that to last year, right? This is October 28th, 2024. So last year's release, 313,000 was their peak. Their peak this year, 90,000. So we haven't even reached a third of what last year reached. And so, yes, a lot of people have switched from Steam to Battle.net, as they should. You get better performance by playing on Battle.net. Steam, you actually lose. It's something ridiculous, like 15% of your frames. But 70% of the players did not make the swap. And as we can see from the sales data, players clearly made the swap just away from Call of Duty and into things like Battlefield. Battlefield had a banger launch, getting up to 600,000. They're still holding strong with 250,000 against Arc Raiders, against the Call of Duty launch. Battlefield has issues of its own that I will address in a future video. I am not glazing Battlefield. I'm really enjoying Battlefield. I'm enjoying RedSec more than I'm enjoying Warzone by a light year. But I still got issues with it. We'll talk about that in a future video. But Battlefield 6 had the biggest launch month of any game in the last 3 years, except for MW2 of Call of Duty. And that was basically the beginning of the end. Everyone was excited for MW2 and Warzone 2, and then they just basically have fallen off ever since. But still, the best-selling shooter game of the year is pretty dang impressive. They're still topping the charts. We haven't seen the most recent data that has dropped as of later in the month. We should get that here in a couple weeks. Arc Raiders is continuing to pop off. Shout out to them. The game is super fun. I had fun playing it for a few nights. I don't see myself going back to it night after night after night like I do with Battle Royales, but it genuinely is a really fun experience. If you haven't played Arc Raiders, it's a badass game. I think RedSec is missing some major opportunities there by not having things like solos, which Arc Raiders has, Prox Chat, which Arc Raiders has, and some other things along there. But that was a big rant. Okay, there's a lot that I'm frustrated about. This franchise has genuinely changed my life, and I want the best for it. But I'm not going to blow smoke up your ass for the sake of trying to get some YouTube ad revenue and trying to convince you that everything is flowers and roses and please play the game because I got bills to pay. I got other games I can make content on. I got other literal entire genres I could make content on. I'm confident in my ability to make content on anything. I could go back to flying planes. I'm not going to sell out for a game if I don't genuinely enjoy it, but I am curious, and I'm going to be reading through a lot of this for the first time with you all, and I want you to comment down below. If you're like me, and maybe you're not playing Call of Duty like you used to, or maybe you are and you're really enjoying it, comment below and let me know what you think about some of the changes that we're about to read through on the Warzone front, and let me know if this is something that's going to make you want to come back to the game, or maybe just completely leave the game altogether. So we have some stuff for Season 1 Warzone content that's coming on December 4th. That's, I believe, this Wednesday. And I am going to be playing it on stream. I'm going to be checking it out. It is not going to be a sponsored stream, and I'm going to let you know exactly what I think about it. Okay, so new gameplay features at launch. We'll kind of breeze through this just to make things fast. So movement. Tac Sprint is now part of the base Sprinter perk. You no longer have the tactical sprint, sprint to fire, which is kind of a big thing that's made Warzone movement feel clunky. But there is a movement perk you can add for tactical sprint, but the base movement speed has been increased. Players equipped with the Mountaineer perk can also perform the new combat role. It looks really bad. It looks worse than Battlefield's implementation of it. I tried it at COD Next. It was pretty clunky. There will be limited time modes to test out wall jump and grapple hook. Those will not be in the base game. You're going to have to play the LTMs in order to get them. Loadout. Overkill is now default, so you can have 2 primary weapons without having to sacrifice for it, but your weapons will have a maximum of 5 attachments, so no more 8 attachment loadouts. Equipment. Expect an updated selection of tacticals, lethals, and in-match field upgrades, including needle drone, pinpoint grenade, phantom signal, echo unit, and some are ground loot only. Equipment interactions. New equipment interactions have been introduced, including smoke grenades, now douse Molotov fire. It's like we're playing Counter-Strike. Stim shots now remove the effects of flash and concussion grenades, adding a little buff to them there. Perks. Perks have been restructured, including there is now an anti-one-shot headshot perk. And expect further upgrade comms and patch notes in future updates, and we'll kind of cover some of those. We'll rip through this. We'll just kind of cover the big picture stuff. They are adding 2 new POIs inside of Verdansk. They have added in those tacticals that we talked about. They've made some changes to some of the perks. If you want to, you can pause and check out some of these. A lot of the stuff is nice, but I think big picture content is what I'm lacking inside of this game. I think a good functioning anti-cheat is what I'm lacking inside of this game. I don't think little minor tweaks here and there are going to phase my enjoyment and reinvigorate my excitement for Call of Duty. So we're going to breeze over some of this because I don't think it's going to have a massive play on the game. They could stack up, but there's some bigger things that I'm looking forward to really reinvigorate my passion for Warzone. Quick Fix improves armor handling and health regen. Sprinter, that allows you to have attack sprint. I believe there is Survivor, provides 1 hit protection against ballistic weapons, and that basically means Survivor now one-shot headshots. You will not be able to get one-shot headshot. Basically a helmet built into a perk. There is the new Resurgence map, Haven's Hollow. I played it at COD Next. It's beautiful, but it just feels like glorified multiplayer to me. I'll be honest. I'm not a rebirth grinder. I kind of enjoyed Fortune's Keep whenever it had ranked. Like I enjoyed Vondel a lot, but in pubs, it just feels like glorified multiplayer. I don't feel like I'm making big rotations. I don't feel like there's a lot of heart pounding action. It just feels like brainless spawn die, respawn die, respawn die, respawn die. It's just not for me. It's a beautiful map, good for them. You can't wall bounce across the map, so I don't even know how different it's going to feel other than just, we'll check it out. We'll play it on December 4th. Might be something nice to check out. They are not going to have ranked at launch, which I know a lot of people love grinding Resurgence ranked. They're not going to have ranked at launch. Beautiful map, great colors. I think it flowed pretty well, I'll be honest. I'm just not a small map player. I am a big map player. And for big map, keeping in mind, all throughout Urzikstan, we only had like 2 new POIs. And then they removed those 2 new POIs for like another 6 months of Urzikstan and basically reverted everything to day 1. And then we get Verdansk. And the only things that we got in Verdansk were a new train station opening, which we already had in the past, stadium opening, which we already had in the past, and then a knockoff Nakatomi Tower. So basically 2.5 years of no big map content. Besides bringing back Verdansk, we get 1 new POI, which is a signal station. Good spot on the map for it to go to. When I played at COD Next, the signal station did not even work. There's like a special Easter egg that you can complete within there, and basically it'll kind of give you like a rough advanced UAV. It'll give you like little grids on the map that turn red that say like, hey, there's a lot of player concentration in this area. And then we get Factory, which we had back in, 2021? That's it. I know the entire world shut down and everyone started playing Verdansk and Call of Duty again because of Warzone Verdansk. But yeah, after basically 2.5 years of neglect on Big Map, we get one POI and 1 rehashed POI. So, again, I want to love this game again, man. I want to. They're not selling me. They added new skins for Polaris partnerships. Honestly, I drove one of those Polaris Razors or Pro RZRs or whatever it is at a Call of Duty event in Washington, D.C. Badass. These things fly. They are insane. They go like 60 miles an hour. But then you put them in the game and they drive like shit compared to how they drive in real life. In real life, these things are bats out of hell. They're actually super fun. I wish they would drive like that in game and just feel like explosive, because they kind of feel underwhelming in game. Let me know if I, obviously I am breezing through some of this. So if I miss anything, let me know. That is like a big trigger for you to be excited about it. But outside of that, we're obviously going to get the Black Ops 7 integration. We're going to get some new weapons that come with it. So outside of new Black Ops 7 guns and some changes to the perks and a POI and a remastered POI, that's kind of about all we're getting. Here's a little summary. Tac sprint by default, combat roll. Wall jump and grapple will be in LTMs. Loadouts, 5 attachments, overkill by default. New tacticals and lethals. Some new interactions. Maybe the stim countering flash and concussion could be cool. That's about it. And some new guns. Oh, and a new small map. I already forgot about it. Kind of like I already forgot about Area 99. And here's a quick little dev talk that we can watch through. That's going to explain some of the things that are most recently announced on like kind of a Q&A front. I think it's a great insight here. We're going to listen to some of it. Again, comment down below what you think about some of this stuff.
Question. What are you changing on Haven's Hollow for launch? It's a great question. The reception at COD Next was really positive towards Haven's Hollow, but we're always looking to improve the player experience. Again,
we actually really enjoyed this at Call of Duty Next, and we were kind of sad that we got pulled out. I played like 2 maps on this, and then they pushed us over to Verdansk, and everyone's like, why the heck are we playing Verdansk? There's like nothing new on this map. Like, we wanted to keep playing Haven's Hollow. It's a good looking map. They actually really did a nice job.
In quads, we're moving up to 52 players from what you might have seen at COD Next at 44 players. High Moon Studios has also reworked the center POI, formerly known as Homestead. Now known as the Barn, this solves a few problems that we were experiencing during our playtests. There's been several long sight lines that have been resolved now with the new layout. We also have a lot more
minor changes there, honestly, not super specific.
The meta. Can you be more specific?
Or nothing super impactful, like just adding that one little barn.
Absolutely.
I don't think would have changed things too much.
We are committing to updating the meta more often than we ever have in the past. The goal is to keep weapon diversity as interesting as possible.
So there's something that we're going to talk about here in a moment, and it's that they have committed to updating the meta 4 times a season. A season's typically 2 months, so that means every 2 weeks they'll be updating the meta. Cool. But does that mean that we're going to get the meta updates that we've been getting for the past 3 years, which have been like, we have changed the medium damage range on the MP5 from 15.5 meters to 16.3 meters. And that's it. Like, the amount of times that we've gotten patch notes where they've changed fundamentally nothing, but called it a meta update is so frustrating. So when I hear that they're just going to change it 4 times a season, that doesn't mean anything to me.
We plan on doing that by really focusing on attachments to make sure that they're both impactful and meaningful to the player. Now, we had mentioned that
I do have to say, gunplay on Black Ops 7 does feel good. Now, the rumors and leaks from Modern Warfare 4 apparently are that they're bringing back doors, they're bringing back the muzzle shake, they're bringing back everything that we hated from MW2. So we might be even more screwed next year. But I will say, playing mouse and key, there is significantly less visual recoil and shake on Black Ops 7 guns, which is awesome.
Updating our technology in terms of being able to tune weapon attachments. And this is really important for us because now we're able to really go in and fine-tune specific problem cases.
To be clear, he is not talking about attachment tuning from MW2 where we would, okay, I'm going to place this, 0.005 and you would be sliding the attachment tuner around. Not that. They're saying that for the first time ever, which I feel like we've heard this before, Warzone is now a completely separate client from multiplayer, so they have full control over tuning the attachments so they can tune them specific to Warzone engagement distances.
Instead of nerfing a weapon to the ground, we can be intentional with the changes that we need to make so we can keep the weapon's identity secure. Now, we have a blog coming in the next few days that will cover a lot more of our weapon philosophy, so tune into that. There's a lot of weapons in Warzone. How are you going to balance them all? Our focus is on the new weapons introduced with Black Ops 7's launch and Season 1. You can always go back and play with old favorite blueprints you own. What are you doing?
Have fun. Leveling weapons in Black Ops 7 takes forever. It takes so long. And once you get to max level for a weapon, there is a prestige attachment where you have to prestige that weapon, bring your weapon all the way down to level 1 again to unlock that prestige attachment, and then level it all the way up to max level. Awesome stuff, right?
Perks. Well,
We
this
already
year,
talked about
our
some of the
goal
stuff
is
that they're
to
doing
be
with perks, including the
assist
survivor.
across all ranges and a right stick
no
aiming with
one-shot
trigger, and
headshots.
adjusting aim assist across all ranges and a right stick aiming requirement that will lead to a more competitive and balanced experience. These changes go live in Warzone with the launch of Season 1.
Aim assist has been nerfed inside of Black Ops 7. If you haven't played it, I'll say it takes a little bit to get used to, but like your brain adjusts very quickly. You probably will have gotten lazy playing Call of Duty and not having to use your thumbs to aim. If you're a good controller player, you're still absolutely going to lace people. Okay, you're still, most high skill players are still gonna be the same shooters that they were. The really body players are gonna be shooting circles. Not all the time, but like people are gonna be missing more shots, which does, I think the longer engagements, more people missing shots, maybe having to reload makes for fun engagements. When people can just 60 round mag dump everything with zero recoil and full aim assist is a little obnoxious.
You said buybacks are coming back. What other LTMs can we expect? Well, we want to leave some surprises for you, but for Season 1, we can talk about some of the weekend LTMs coming. Now, one experimental one that we're excited about is called Amped BR. And the idea here simply is increased health, because we really want to see how this changes the moment-to-moment combat.
I have been asking for Iron Trials to come back since 2021. I haven't had my favorite LTM for like 4 freaking years.
And now they bring it back and they call it Amped. Just call it Iron Trials, please.
Now
I'm sure there's some differences to it, but
also have some
I do think that could be fun. What scares me is I think they're talking about doing LTMs on weekends, and I know weekends are the most played times, but like, LTMs are what would make me excited to play Monday through Friday. Weekends I might play just because I've got a bunch of spare time.
LTMs in store for Season 1. One that I will talk about is High Octane BR. This is pretty cool because players can start out with their loadouts. They're also able to access the buy station anywhere, at any time, with the press of a button.
Almost reminds me of Off the Grid. If you remember that, Off the Grid allowed you to access a buy station anywhere just by pressing a button. Landing with your loadout sounds interesting as well. I feel like that might just feel a little bit like plunder. You know, you're not having the BR experience of looting and building your character and making him more, equipped, and having the reward for killing and looting other players and getting more and more kitted.
Open matchmaking coming to Warzone. Yes, open matchmaking is coming to Warzone in Season 1.
What do you mean by that? Because right now, open matchmaking says skill is minimally considered. And as we talked about earlier with the exclusive A side of things, I have noticed that like when I play, I live in Dallas. I should get Dallas server every single time. There is enough player density here, but I'm getting pulled East Coast, West Coast. Like, why? In open matchmaking, We'll have to see if they're gaslighting us. Obviously, we can't tell if they're gaslighting us without open APIs, but I think there's a reason they hide some of that. I hope they do make it feel like a more organic experience. But if they're keeping in casual modes, then I still feel like that's going to create an artificial experience on the main modes, even if they are open.
Are you adding any new movement mechanics towards?
We already talked about the movement mechanics.
Island on socials, combat situations around the map. We have more info
on season 2. So in like January, February, they're going to add some new spots around the map to Rebirth Island, and they're going to add snow. But again, I'm not much of a small map guy. You can see a new POI over here. They've built out a couple other areas in the map, but that's where we're at. So real quick, we're going to scroll through this. This will be the final thing we're going to look through. Again, I'm not seeing anything that's like, oh my God, I can't wait to get back to Call of Duty, which sucks. I guess not really, because I'm really enjoying RedSec. So we'll see. I'm going to play it on the 4th. Here's a little bit more information about their approach to weapons and attachments, because genuinely, if they are changing up the meta, that does create new content in itself, because it makes the game feel vibrant and fresh when people are using new weapons. You don't necessarily have to have new POIs, but new metas do make some changes here. So our goal is to ensure that every weapon class feels unique and purposeful. Assault rifles, submachine guns, LMGs, snipers should offer specific benefits that each player chooses to use them. To reinforce it, we have capped each weapon at 5 weapons. Overkill has become default. And they've reworked low value or redundant attachments to encourage meaningful trade-offs that require players to commit to a clear strength instead of every possible weakness. For the first time, attachments in Warzone now feature stats that are entirely unique from multiplayer. This means every tuning decision has been shaped specifically for Warzone pacing, engagement distances, and time to kill. The difference will be immediately noticeable. Attachments now offer more defined benefits, clear trade-offs, and a stronger sense of class identity across the entire sandbox. Key systems have been tuned to preserve identity across weapons. Large assault rifle magazines are now capped at 60 rounds to ensure light machine guns have their role as high-capacity weapons. Awesome. I don't think we've had an LMG meta for like 2 years. Pump-action shotguns require slug ammunition, which can now one-shot headshot within a maximum range, which rewards precision shooting and high-risk, high-reward payoff. Core attachment categories have been reworked to support a variety of playstyles. Suppressors now reduce visual recoil, making them competitive options for players who prefer stealth
Or play on mouse and keyboard.
Stocks have also been redesigned to help reinforce distinct identities. Mobility-focused stocks improve handling and aim walking speed. Thank goodness, because there for a while, like, the only way you could improve your aim down sight, I think, was like through a rear grip, but nothing else would improve your aim down sight. So hopefully there's some stuff there that can help. Recoil focused attachments. Honestly, this is all just going to matter through feel when you get in there. Assault rifle barrels now come in 2 categories. Long range barrels help you stay on target and land at greater distances. They're balanced by slower ADS speed, as they should be. Mid-range barrels reduce horizontal and visual recoil to make it easier to stay on target during extended fights. They trade off bullet velocity and aim walking speed. Okay. All this is just going to matter by feel, to be honest. It doesn't matter until I actually get my hands on the gun. Snipers have been refined to feel even more rewarding for long-range specialists. These benefits give players greater stability,
Provide flinch resistance and reduced idle sway. Are we making sniping easier? These benefits give players greater stability when holding angles and further reinforce sniper identity as a patient, precision-driven class. Oh God. In addition, all the changes we made weapons attachments, we're going to be regularly updating the rotation of items found on ground loot. Okay. Altogether, the Warzone weapon attachment overhaul during the Black Ops 7 year reflects a clear evaluation and sandbox philosophy. The new system rewards experimentation, precision, and intentionality. Every attachment is designed to contribute meaningfully to a player's playstyle and a weapon's performance by prioritizing trade-offs instead of all-purpose dominance and pairing with frequent shakeups. Our intent is to keep the meta fresh, diverse, and skill-driven throughout the entire year. And that covers everything we know up to now. Some stuff may drop throughout the week. As we release this video, we'll be approaching the Season 4, which again drops on Wednesday. We'll be checking it out live here if you want to see first impressions of it that aren't just people. That rant's over, you know? Make sure to subscribe here. We'll be doing a live stream that day. We're also going to be releasing a settings video for that. Just because I know I didn't release a settings video for Black Ops 7 because I didn't really care too much about it, but I will be releasing an initial settings video, maybe an initial meta video to see, kind of how I'm enjoying it. But my focus this winter, unless I am pulled away by falling in love with Warzone again, is going to be RedSec, as well as the RedSec Elite series, which I'm taking part in December, which is $1 million series, which is bigger than World Series of Warzone. Rather than having to wait all year, it's all in December, and there's another $1 million series happening in either January or February. So they're really going all in on the comp tournament scene, which is exciting to see on RedSec, and that's going to be my focus unless COD really turns things around. But to bring the video all together, man, COD's down bad. You can look at the views of any of my fellow creators. I don't wish that on them. I don't like the fall off. I don't like the stress of the homies making less money. We've got mouths to feed and careers to think about, and it sucks that the games that we've given our all to have let us down in so many ways over the years. And even though Black Ops 7 is a great multiplayer, and I personally am enjoying it, I totally understand why so many people are pissed off and jaded by the franchise and have left it. I'm going to give it a try on December 4th because it's free. And then because it is Warzone, which is genuinely what made me fall in love with Call of Duty again, that and Blackout back in Black Ops 4. But we'll have to see what the reception is, and I'll have to look down below at the comments and see where you guys think Call of Duty's heading and if they can regain. And if it doesn't happen here, they're going to have to go big in the spring whenever they do their Blackout 2.0, at which point we right now have no information on what that actually means. So that about wraps it up. Hope you guys enjoyed this video. Shout out again to War Thunder for sponsoring today's video, and I will see you guys on the next one. Peace.
And again, thank you to War Thunder for sponsoring today's video. You can check it out down in the pinned comment and the description and play for free today on PC, Xbox, PlayStation, and mobile devices. As a reminder, new and returning players that haven't played in 6 months will also receive a massive bonus pack across PC and console, including multiple premium vehicles and other goodies. Available for a limited time only, so check it out now.